Okay, fine. I get it. There's a lot of tags in this game that need a lot of balance updates. But what we have all been doing is ignoring the elephant in the room. There is one country that has been dominant in every single multiplayer game it's played. The country that just easily decimates all competition. I'm of course referring to Poland. This tag is just so dominant in the current meta. I mean, we all know that no one uses infantry, no one uses artillery in their endgame stacks, we all just use cavalry. And Poland does so well with their wind hussars. Furthermore, they just have the most defensible terrain, you just cannot break through the Polish farmlands. This tag has been so dominant in the meta, of course, that a lot of MPs just ban it straight away. Like, if you form Poland, you put such a massive target on your back, you may as well be dead, because everyone's going to target you. Of course, people form Poland anyway, and they just win. It's just way too strong, the tag. Which is why I have now made a very small mod that does a couple small balance updates to bring Poland more in line with how it should be. It's mostly historical changes, of course. Paradox is notoriously bad for doing a lot of historical inaccuracies, but also a couple more balance updates as well. So with that, let's begin. The first thing we see is that there's a large historical inaccuracy that Poland actually existed in 1444. This is wrong. This is actually a lie spread and told to you by Big Poland. Poland actually got their first independence in 1991, during the collapse of the Soviet Union. And if you don't believe me, just look at a map. Look at this map. Do you see a Poland? Exactly. What about this one, from 1797? Is there a Poland here? Proof's in the pudding. What about this more recent map? Is there any more Polands here? I thought not. This is actually evident that Poland is a formable and historically was formed in 1991. And that is why we have to slightly balance around the fact that Poland is not meant to be formed for free. So the country would be either way. The country we'll be using to try and form Poland today will be Serbia. So it may be a bit hard to do, of course, but you know, let's go for it. Of course, it's not Iron Man. There's been a couple small checksum adjustments to the whole Poland rebalancing, but there we go. Now we will, of course, begin with remarkable the lemon cake episode. Reusing the joke from before about subscribing to me? Impossible. Well, seems that subscribing to me basically makes you play in easy mode, and I should try it. Well, that's a lot of buffs. It's almost like I copy-pasted the code for players picking very easy on the nation select screen, and added a colonist to it. Just like the description of the country modifier. It's a lemon cake subscription, aka life on very easy mode, with a side of colonist. This will be perfect for our attempt at forming Poland. But with that self-plug out the way, cue the elevator music. Okay, there we go. We have reclaimed the Polish waste sufficiently to the point where we can now form Poland. So now time to talk about the actual nerfs we've done for this country. Now, right off the bat, we're going to see that there's been a couple historical inaccuracy fixes. Poland actually used to have some production efficiency buffs, but this was a bit too strong, so they actually just lose production efficiency now. And another historical inaccuracy they had was that people had to spend admin points coring their land. This is actually historically inaccurate. If you took over Poland, you just got it for free. And obviously, as a bonus thing, it is very clear that there is this lie told by Big Poland that Polish people pay tax. To clarify that has never actually happened before. So yeah, that has been adjusted now. Moving on, Poland produced a bit too much in terms of goods. Their trade value was really high. They really dominated trade in the area. I mean, historically, Poland was not that far dominant ahead of the other trade nodes. So this kind of brings them more in line with that. Another thing as well with Poland is that there's not a lot of cultures in Poland. It's mostly just Polish, so they don't actually need the promoted cultures. Another thing with Poland as well, they used to have way too many troops, and this kind of turns it down a bit. They don't have that many troops now. Furthermore, if they do have troops, the troops are a bit more expensive. Again, this is just a balancing feature because Poland's armies are so good. To kind of make up for the insane quality they have, we have to kind of increase their cost a bit to make up for it. Again, this is more of a balancing thing. Historically, of course, this doesn't apply because if you look at the previous policy, you can see that Poland never actually had an army. Moving on, we see that Poland is known in EU4 just to be an incredibly stable country. No one really invades it. It's way too stable. So for balance purposes, we just have to give it a bit more stability cost modifier, just so that it's a bit too stable and really breaks the game. Now, another thing with Poland, of course, is that it's full of really, really defensible farmland. Like, those farmland forts are really strong and basically make Poland uninvadable. So to kind of nerf the strategy where Poland players would hide behind their farmland forts, we have to make those forts a bit more expensive so that Polish players just can't abuse this strategy. Now, another thing as well is the Wind Hussars. They were really strong, so they've been nerfed a bit. Now the Wind Hussars only give you 1,000 cavalry combat ability. Can't remember what they used to give before, but now it's been slightly turned down to 1,000. And before that, we had this weird historical inaccuracy where Poland would have things that weren't Wind Hussars in their armies. Now this is actually historically inaccurate. That has been fixed. Now they can have their cavalry infantry ratio at 100%. But to make up for that, the cavalry combat ability has been reduced down to 1,000. But there we go. That kind of concludes the balance update for Poland. Eventually, if there is enough demand, I will update the Prussia one as well to Leviathan, and if this does end up being a series, sure, I'll make a mod which combines all of them. But that is enough for today, so thank you very much for watching.